Hey guys, Omni here. We finally have our little breakdown of the Ant-Man trailer thanks to the guys over at New ROCKSTARS. If you're not following their channel, subscribe to them, man. They put out so much work as far as breakdowns go, podcasts, all things Marvel, DC, Star Wars, all that jazz. Go give them a look if you have not already. They've also got some pretty swankified merch, which I'm not wearing currently, but I have plenty of their stuff. Trust me, you will find them in my videos. With that all said, we're going to check out the trailer breakdown for the latest trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Here we go.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. It's me, MT, and we just got a fresh new trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This movie opens in just over a month, and I cannot wait to talk about all these new juicy details that you may have missed in this trailer. So let's jump on in, shall we? But first, of course, do not forget to hit up newrockstarsmerch.com, where you can pick up a new shirt that is amazing. Our latest Obsession shirts are the best. We have a Black Panther Wakanda Forever one.
Nice.
That may or may not be still around. Go check that out. But let's get into that damn trailer, shall we?
You're an interesting man, Scott Lang. You're an Avenger. You have a daughter, but you've lost a lot of time, like me.
We open on a shot of San Francisco, the home of Scott Lang, the Pyms, and the Van Dynes, as the MCU continues its West Coast narrative after MCU projects like the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, She-Hulk, and Shang-Chi. Like, West Coast Avengers are coming, people. And a voiceover of Kang reveals to us that Scott feels a lot of regret over his lost time with Cassie while he was stuck in the quantum realm, something that Kang himself seems to be able to relate to, possibly implying that he wishes to escape the quantum realm to go conquer, you know, as a big person. But as he's saying this, we see that Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne have been invited to the Humanitarian Global Service Awards, likely for their contributions to the quantum realm science that the Avengers utilized to go back in time and save half the universe. I'd say that deserved a little bit of recognition, don't you? And this guy
Only
on
a
the
little.
line of frame holding the boom mic kind of gives me Stan Lee vibes. I don't know about you. Like, I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, but let's just say it was. We miss you, Papa Lee. R.I.P. Then we see Scott about to answer a call from his daughter Cassie in some type of library. But he does take a moment to answer the phone call in order to stare at a picture of the younger Cassie Lang that he left behind, played by actress Abby Ryder-Fortson in the first two Ant-Man films, implying to me that little Cassie might be a factor that Kang uses to manipulate Scott Lang. Because if you think about it, Scott did a time heist to save half the entire universe, but he couldn't save little Cassie. So I think that we could be seeing Kang the Conqueror dangling the possibility of stealing a little Cassie variant for Scott from another timeline, but only if Scott gets what Kang needs. Because that Star-Lord guy got a new Gamora, right? So the multiverse
that
has
wouldn't
an
be
infinite
great.
amount of Scott's tots.
No!
Oh my God, that was a horrible
Let's not pull a Wanda.
Flashbacks.
Anything but that. I mean, we get the Scott-pocalypse, though, from what we can see in the trailer later, which we will get to.
What you gonna do to make a dream come true? And I can see why Scott might be missing little Cassie, because little Cassie didn't have a criminal record, much like it's implied when we see teenage Cassie being released from a jail
that
cell.
we know
Hey,
of.
you know, like father, like daughter, am I right? But much like Scott was imprisoned for trying to undo the fraud of his old employer, VistaCorp, I have a feeling that Cassie might have been arrested for doing a good thing like her dad. I mean, her layers of green and blue over a t-shirt of the planet Earth kind of make me feel like Cassie could be a bit of a teenage eco-warrior and might have been arrested trying to save the planet at a protest gone wrong or something.
You know, after this massive, statue just appeared out of nowhere, displacing all kinds of ocean water and wildlife and destroying the coastal lines of God knows how many countries.
The Atlantic Ocean is front and center here, so maybe the emergence of Namor and the Atlanteans during Wakanda Forever affected Cassie to fight against pollution, fight for the Atlantean people.
I just noticed he called them Atlanteans. That is not the case anymore, sir.
But anyways, moving on, Cassie can be seen wearing the same shirt as she flicks her weird machine on, supposedly sending a signal to the quantum realm like she says in the last trailer. And as that blue glowing ball of light floats in the air, you can notice that there is a keyboard connected to the console, which is how I'm assuming Cassie has been able to chat with whoever she's been signaling in the quantum realm. She's chatting with strangers on the internet, a stranger that could quite possibly have been the big-headed Modoc, who was revealed to be none other than Darren Cross in the MCU.
That's so crazy, man.
Survived after having his body crushed and shrunk into oblivion in the most gnarly and freaking horrific ways that I've ever seen in the MCU, after kidnapping Cassie to get to Scott. So we could be looking at a similar situation here, with Cross wanting to get revenge on the man who made him a big head machine man with little dangly legs. This, of course, is not Modoc's origin in the
Oh,
comics,
that's
as MODOK
crazy.
is originally the scientist George Tarleton, who was mutated by AIM to become their mental organism only designed for computing complicated nerd shit. Until MODOK went crazy and became the mental organism only designed for killing instead of computing. So, you know, turn that C into a K and you're gonna be dead today. Just made that up. I got a big head like MODOK. But my big head gang brother Tommy Bechtold has an excellent explainer on just who MODOK is, so you should check that out if you haven't. But anyway, since we know that Darren Cross has been getting more and more crazier due to his exposure to his own shrinking radiation, having Cross substitute for Tarleton in the MCU doesn't make sense here. But I am very glad that they ended up giving him a mask with a more comic accurate face on it, because seeing a big human face is very jarring, and I don't think I can look at that for 2.5 hours, if I'm honest with you. It's quite disgusting. Everyone says that it looks like
we'll
George
see.
Lopez in Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I'm gonna have to agree with you. Not that it looks bad, it's just, you know, just jarring. But moving on, we can also see that the room that they're in is filled with machines in what appears to be a luminescent ant farm to the right of the glowing ball, which can be seen better as everything gets sucked into the vortex. And it appears that Cassie was working to carry on the family business, but unfortunately, thanks to Kang, there's been some downsizing. But let's keep watching.
Oh, that I like that.
I'm the man
That wordplay.
who can give you
Downsizing.
the one thing you want. Time.
I can rewrite existence and shatter timelines.
And we are finally down in the quantum realm, and we get a great slow reveal of Kang with his blue face shield. His helmet and face shield seem to be similar to the suits worn by the Time Heisters in Avengers Endgame, and the masks that the members of the Guardians of the Galaxy, not named Yondu, wear in space to survive. This makes me feel even more like Kang is a little bit of a Tony Stark wannabe, especially after knowing that He Who Remains had an Iron Man helmet in his office in some low-key concept art. And notice how his eyes turn blue when using his iconic blue masking, making me suspect that the scars on his face could have been due to a surgery that he underwent to install this nanite technology into his very body. Technology that is linked to his nervous system and responds to his mental commands, which is again something that Tony Stark was very interested in doing with his Mark 42 armor in Iron Man 3. And we now see Kang appearing to speak directly to Scott Lang, telling him that I can give you what you want, time. And before we get this amazingly dope wide shot of Kang City that kind of feels like a mashing of famous Star Wars locations, Coruscant and Lando's Cloud City on the planet Bespin. I can totally see director Peyton Reed being inspired by those, because he is no stranger to the Star Wars universe after directing one of the most memorable and amazing episodes of The Mandalorian ever by bringing Luke Skywalker back from the past to go kick some ass. We then get the shot of Kang's pyramid structure that we saw from an earlier trailer, which is for sure inspired by the character's love of ancient Egyptian culture in the comics, which of course causes Kang to go back in time to become the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Rama-Tut, only to be chased away by the Fantastic Four in his first appearance. And Janet Van Dyne mentioning that Kang can rewrite existence and shatter timelines is of course the truth, as we've seen it happen in Loki with He Who Remains at the Citadel at the end of time. But let's keep on rolling.
You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance.
And Scott Lang apparently has the ability to make clones of himself in this movie, like some sort of Paul Rudd Naruto hybrid man.
Yes!
It's a pretty cool skill to have, especially when it's going to come.
I'm not the only one.
He assembles a massive army of Ant-Man to rush towards this strange yellow glowing energy source and building a tower of Ant-Man clones to reach it, much like ants stack on top of each other in real life to make these weird Eiffel Tower formations to reach things and help other ants get to different places and whatnot. It's actually pretty interesting.
That is
I like this imagery.
nifty.
And as Kang and Darren Cross MODOK lead Scott and Cassie towards this cliff, you can see them emerge from a blue portal from what looks like Kang's base. A portal that looks suspiciously similar to the portals made by the Tesseract whenever beings like Thanos used it to instantaneously travel. I mean, since both Howard and Tony Stark were Tesseract scientists who used Tesseract power to power all their technology, and Kang seems to be a Tony Stark superfan for the future, I can definitely see Kang possibly using their research to learn how to unlock the ability to make portals that can go anywhere that he wants, as well as power the technology within his suit and the suits of his soldiers. And with a partner like MODOK, who was literally made in the comics to study the cosmic cube, I can see MODOK helping Kang master this Tesseract energy source portaling technology.
That's a pretty neat, that's a pretty interesting theory.
Strange red crystals in the background, which sort of remind me of the red crystals that can be seen in Dormammu's realm of the dark dimension. I wonder if there's like some type of dark connection there.
Let me make this easy for you. You will bring me what I need. Everything you call life will end.
As the Pym family takes a much-needed vacation ride together on the back of a flying quantum realm avatar creature, the creature's wings brush against the water.
It's exactly what I thought of
and while
too.
this could very well be the bioluminescence of some, native plankton or whatever, I'm wondering if the land itself is brimming with blue cosmic energy, much like the land of Wakanda was after the vibranium meteorite hit and, enriched the soil. I wonder if that's like magic water. That'd be really interesting. Then, as we see Scott forming this Eiffel Tower of Ant-Man to reach this glowing power source, we can see that it's surrounded by these rings with markings on them, similar to the markings found in one of the Quantumania logos. This being the case, I'm assuming that this is some type of quantum realm power generator, as it appears to function similarly to the shield power generator found on Asgard in Thor: The Dark World. And much like the Dark Elves sought to destroy that generator, it seems like Scott may be seeking to do the same, because for a split second, you can see what looks like a blaster of some sort emerge from Scott Lang's wrist, implying that Scott wants to destroy this structure either for Kang or to stop Kang. Then we see Cassie standing in front of a yellow portal, possibly acting as a natural quantum tunnel back to the big people world, where all the bills are. But the cracks around the edges make me feel like this could possibly be related to the cracks in the veil from Miss Marvel. And then Scott and Hope share the classic Clint and Natasha forehead touch, but the last time that happened, one of those two died, so it's not looking good for your boy Scott, especially as he gets his ass beat thoroughly.
You may not want her to watch this.
We had a deal.
You thought you could win.
Oh God, it's so
As
good.
Kang is looking out into the horizon, it looks like he's watching one of his blue glowing ships being shot down by a green glowing ship, presumably Team Ant-Man. And as Kang's fleets of ships take off, I couldn't help but notice how the blue convex design of the ship's windows look similar to the rounded blue helmets of Kang's soldiers, possibly implying that both the ships and the soldiers are similarly designed pieces of technology, with his army being a robot army similar to
That would
Tony
be
Stark's
interesting.
Ultron program, or the Ultron bots in the Illuminati headquarters.
Doombots!
Avengers Kang Dynasty is on the way, as is implied by the trailer's use of the words "a new dynasty." The Avengers are going to need an army of aliens, monsters, or robots to smash, because Disney cannot have the Avengers slaughtering actual human beings. Not since that whole Scarlet Witch fiasco. And then Kang makes his assault on this red foresty area in the quantum realm.
Oh,
that
yeah,
could
yeah, you
possibly
can.
be this area from the first trailer, and could possibly be where those red crystals from earlier came from during that Lang family hug. But I have a feeling all that red could imply the presence of chaos energy being a factor, especially considering how Scott's clones unravel similarly to how Mantis and Mr. Fantastic unraveled due to the red energy users in both Avengers 3 and Doctor Strange 2. And if this is the case, I have a feeling that this army of Scotts could be a result of chaos energy probability magic, with Scott generating a clone that pops up whenever he needs to make a choice. So if, for instance, Scott has the options of going either left or right, a clone will pop up that allows him to do both at the same time. But anyways, before Scott is able to go through this yellow portal like Cassie was about to earlier
would
in
be
the trailer,
cool.
it seems like Kang blasts him away and gives him that beatdown that we see at the end of the trailer, symbolically stomping on Scott like a man would stomp on an ant, harkening back to what Nick Fury said to Loki in Avengers 1.
Ant?
Boot. But not before we see a glimpse of Cassie in her purple suit doing a dramatic hero
Nice.
jump and dangling off of an edge that reveals a futuristic cityscape of the quantum realm, very similar to that of the Sovereign Race, as Baby Groot nearly falls off the edge to his death. And we get another look at Modoc, who has two laser cannons jutting out of the sides of his chair, kind of like Cross's Yellow Jacket armor had laser arms as well.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose. I'm sorry, Cassie.
And as Kang and Scott fight, Scott says that his goal isn't beating Kang, it's making sure that Kang loses, which is a lesson that Scott probably learned from Doctor Strange after Doctor Strange used that mentality to best the MCU's first multiverse conqueror, the Dread Dormammu. And finally, before Kang shoots out Blue Blast to end the trailer, he floats on the ground on this blue energy disc, similar to the blue energy that Reed Richards portaled in with in Multiverse of Madness. And since Kang is supposedly a descendant of Nathaniel Richards in the comics, there could be some type of relationship there. But that is the breakdown for the Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Nice,
Quantumania trailer.
man.
Are you guys excited for this movie?
Yes.
What was your favorite part of the trailer? Thank you guys so much for
the
watching this video. You
beatdown.
can follow me at Mastertainment on Twitter. Most importantly, you can follow New Rockstars wherever you are on the social medias. But again, thank you guys.
Subscribe to New Rockstars, guys. Check out their merch and all that jazz. But my Lord, great breakdown. Great wordplay. MT. Brilliant. Except you did flub up there when you called them Atlanteans rather than being from Telecon like they are now. I know that's the original comic origin. They changed that up, but still. I could call out anything in any one of these videos. It always makes me gives me a little pep in my step. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for this. This last trailer was awesome. I can't wait to see how this whole thing unfolds, how these mysteries tie in together, all these storylines connect, and what fate befalls Scott by the end of this. Not looking good. It is not looking good. But yeah, man, I love the Kagebunshin reference that we threw in here. I said this seems to be the massive variety. Now, if only he could swap out some Rosengons or something like that, we could top this whole thing off. I shared a meme, not a meme, a GIF the other day after this trailer dropped, and it's the one of Sasuke fighting off all the Narutos. And I was like, Kang, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer in a nutshell. I was like, that's what it seems like, man. Dude, and I like all the ant parallels, too. It's just like, again, the wit. It's not something I would have thought of, at least not immediately. Give it some time and maybe I would get there, but great breakdown. Support new rock stars. I hope you enjoyed this little reaction. I hope you enjoyed the trailer. If you haven't seen my reaction to the trailer itself, go check that out. Subscribe, stick around for more stuff that's coming your way. We'll be reviewing this movie when it comes out. We react to all the Disney Plus Marvel shows. Stick around. Leave a like if you enjoy the reaction. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny Scher, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, Yori Corey Scott, Margaret Grace, Melita, Robert Anguiano, Raven McGann, Jeffrey Hale, M. Sephiroth, Jake Cantrell, and Amy Becca. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.